Yo, it is us, the JetSet podcast. We are back again. All right. And it's been an exciting week, you know, with Aaron Glenn coming in the building, hyping us up, you know. I guess all I got to say is, buckle your seatbelts and get ready for a ride because we are the New York Jets and we are built for this. Shut your mouth. Let's get into it. Ready.
Ready,
Jet
jet
set.
set,
Go.
Go, 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 go. No to the mall.
Loud one down the right side at the goal line, leaping attempt. Oh, it's free ball. Oh, it's a jet
Never too
touchdown.
nosy. Pack my bags and go, 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 go. Serve me a brick at the stove. Looking like a shack in the post. Go, go, you go, 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 you go, go.
From the hills to the moon. Yeah, baby, I would go like don't go. Yeah, in this world, everything's so more. Yeah, behind this wall, there is no photos. Jump on this bitch, oh go, yeah. I'll go right there, yeah, go. Watch how you go, hey, yeah, Ocho. I need some more, hey, yeah, pronto.
Jumped out the coupe with the black inside, you look like I'm racist. Smoking cookie in Atlanta everywhere, you would think I'm recreation. You already knew we made it, we ain't even gotta say shit. Some of the trap was lit, some of the trap was vacant. Junior say I'll bring the pay out, bring the pay out. Nigga wanna talk, we bring the pay out, spray now. They gon' walk right in that.
What it do, what it is your boy Brent, aka Take Flight underscore today. Joining me each and every week, my dog Allen, aka NY Jets Planet, and we are back for another week of Jets Mania. It started off this week with a fiery press conference from our new head coach, Aaron Glenn, and Darren Muji. Let's not forget about him. The 6'6" Kevin Durant, that we have at our GM position currently. But yes, it started off. He brought the energy for that press conference. He is bringing in pieces that a lot of fans are getting excited about. But before we get into that, Alan, let me hear what you think about how this week started, how it's going. And yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to start off by saying I am super happy with the Wilkes signing as our defensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
I think it is really, really important when you get a rookie head coach or a head coach in his first ever year, going out there, get some experience on his staff. I think that was something that Saleh really failed to do. And I hate to compare Saleh to Glenn, but in a lot of ways, Glenn has to do things in a different way just so that he can be not only more prepared, but actually put this team in position to succeed. They don't have to go and win the Super Bowl next year, but I think they at least all need to believe in the vision that Glenn puts forward. Wilkes definitely is a good sign in that direction. So I'm happy for it. We got a couple other guys. I know we got the offensive line coach. I'm a big old line dude, so I'm happy about that. I'll talk about that one a little later, but I'm overall I'm content right now.
No, and I think the biggest question going into all this that most Jets fans had was who is Aaron Glenn going to bring on, to be, on his staff? And the Wilkes signing, I definitely love. I don't necessarily like that he's had over the past few years a lot of one and dones, but when you look at the situations he was in, it's hard to kind of blame him for that. But in 2023, not even 2 years removed, with the 49ers, they were top 10 defense, top
they were
5.
The best defense.
Top 5, top 2, whatever.
Yeah, they were actually tied for first with us that year.
Yeah, see. So I love having that veteran presence, as you said, that veteran coaching presence alongside AG as he starts this journey as his head coach. Another one of the signings that I really liked was Banjo, the special teams coordinator. We had talked about him a few weeks or like a couple weeks ago as a possible candidate, but bringing him in, I love that we are bringing in former player coaches. I feel like that is the type of energy we need around a young team,
Yeah.
And Aaron Glenn even spoke to this in post the press conference, saying that the culture is built with the guys that are brought in, and the leadership that is around. It's not built by speeches. And I'm not sure if that was a shot at Salah or not. I don't think it was. People are trying to make that into a shot at Salah, but
No.
I think he was just talking just from his own experience. Like, it's not from the rah speeches that culture is like turned around. It's from the people that are brought in the building, the belief and the vision that everybody has together. And I feel like he's putting together a pretty good team, bringing some people over from Detroit. I feel like that's huge as far as like chemistry goes. So, hey man, I'm excited to see how this all kind of goes. We're still trying to sign our offensive coordinator
Yep.
and the other positional coaches, but I mean,
Yep.
Aaron Glenn is definitely starting off hot with these with the people he's bringing on to his team for sure.
Yeah. And real quick, like, and it goes back to the whole Glenn has been there before. He has seen organizations turn it around. And granted, we don't exactly know what he was referring to. I look at like Dan Campbell and everyone attributing their turnaround to like Dan Campbell's whole rah stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's one aspect of it, and that's his personality, but that doesn't work unless you have the right people in the building to back that shit up. As I would say it. Like, if he didn't have Ben Johnson, if he didn't have Aaron Glenn that he could lean on to get the X and O's together, the speeches mean nothing. So
right.
I believe it's there needs to be a system that works with everyone, and everyone has to feel good in their place. Like Steve Wilkes is going to call the defense. That allows Aaron Glenn to be in those offensive and defensive meetings and really kind of have a say in everything. I think, and to me, this was the one thing that I think Salah just never really focused on. Well, and maybe he did towards the end, but it was kind of too late. But just focusing on the game management aspect, I felt like Salah was, and I know he wasn't necessarily, he wasn't calling plays. Jeffrey Uber was calling the plays, but we know Salah was really, that was his defense. That was his baby. Like, it was Salah all over that defense. Pause. That was his defense. But I think we're actually gonna see Wilkes' identity through the defense. Glenn's gonna have his say from time to time. Like, you hear that one play call, Glenn might be like, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. And I was wondering, like, it's gonna be interesting because I know Wilkes, he's a little bit more of a zone guy. Glenn's more of a man guy. So I'm curious how those two personalities mix in terms of like game time decisions. But like, I'm sure he's gonna trust his guy. And like, you got a lot of stuff to worry about when you're a coach, especially like those decisions. They come. Like, you're gonna go for it. Like, what are you gonna do in each situation? You don't have that much time to think about it. So like, you kind of have to really be planning for it. You ideally want to be thinking about those decisions before they really happen. So I think it's smart. Yeah. And then real quick, just talk to the offensive coordinator. I know there's a lot of reports going to Tanner and Strain. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Extrained,
whatever it is. There was actually just a report before we started that the Lions just signed David Shaw as their passing game coordinator. And that's actually Tanner's current position with the Lions. So there's a lot of hints that the deal's kind of already done. I'm curious how that whole staff is going to go, like, especially like he's kicked out now basically. So how do they determine, like, is he going to be the OC? Is there a chance that he's not OC, but he's something else, like a senior advisor or something like that? I don't know. I know he does want to have like his say on the offense. So I'm curious how that goes. I know there's still Nick Caley who hasn't decided
Yeah.
yet. I don't know if he's even in the running anymore. They've been keeping their cards close to the chest, which is new for New York.
Right, right. And it's yeah, it's definitely new to kind of like, I mean, this whole process has been new. The whole
Yeah.
GM head coaching, like pairing, and the whole process has been very different. And I like it. Because it's different, and it's something that we're not really used to seeing, and hopefully it turns out different results as well. But yeah, I don't feel like he would come here in any other position, referring to Extrand,
Mhm.
uh, as any other position besides the OC. Nick Caley, I mean, I feel like if we wanted him, we would have met with him already, and he's already met with like 2, 3 people.
Yeah.
And I mean, those two names were the names that were floating around for us. Um, if Engstrand was to come in here, um, fans should be happy because a lot of fans were vying for Ben Johnson, and this guy was basically working hand in hand with him. Not Ben Johnson exactly, but you can just assume that he's learned a lot, and he would bring some of that to our offense as well. So, yeah, super excited to see how that's gonna play out because, uh, you know, I feel like ever since, well, as long as I can remember, the OC has been the most like important positional coaching or coach on our roster that is either made or break or brokenness. So that has to be right. It has to be right. That
Yeah.
yeah, that one has to be right.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that kind of worries me a little bit. Cause like good example with Wilkes. I think Wilkes can have the best year at DC. And like sadly for him, I don't think he's gonna get like a head coaching job out of
Yeah.
just 1 year. I think he would need like a top 5 defense multiple years for
Hmm.
teams to start considering from head coach again. A guy like Tanner, like that's a really big wild card. One, it can go really bad, but then even on the other side, it goes really, really well. And then next, he could really be gone next year if he came here as the OC and we had a top 5 offense. That's even like it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. I
Hmm.
think they would just look at, yeah, he was with the line, especially if the Bears do bad. He was with the
Yeah.
Lions, and then he went to the Jets. They have a top 5 offense, and then let's say the Bears do bad, they're gonna sit there and be like, well, Ben really wasn't the mastermind; it was Tanner,
It was
and
10
then
the
he's
whole
gone.
time.
Yeah, like it's stuff like that where and it could just be a coincidence. It doesn't matter. Just
Yeah.
people always follow those type of trends. So I like that type of stuff scares me. But like I do rather that than he comes here and shits the bed. So
Hmm.
right now I'm just hoping whoever we get is the right guy.
Yeah, and it has to be at this point.
Yeah.
As long as Hackett is gone, I'm cool. I mean, he's definitely gone. I hope
Yeah, he's
him and
gone.
Aaron Rodgers are getting as many, golf outings as they can before he's shipped out of there. Uh, good riddance to that man.
How do
Uh,
you feel about Tanner with Aaron Rodgers?
so Aaron Rodgers publicly spoke on Ben Johnson during the season, and he was a fan.
Yeah.
He was a fan of that Lions offense in general. So I feel like, you know, initially it would be a good pairing because, I feel like they can both pick each other's brains. Tanner would be, on the younger side, but I feel like that is
Yeah.
a good thing. You know,
I don't is he younger than Rodgers actually?
I'm
Because I
not sure.
believe
It
Tanner. No, I
might
think
be.
he's a year older. Because Tanner is 42.
Okay, well that's yeah, well that's even better because then they
Because if he
can
was younger,
yeah, yeah.
I wonder how that would have went.
Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, that's actually even better.
You know better than me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, see, we're not.
You might be
We're,
coach, but I'm older than you.
yeah, we're not gonna do that. We can't even. We don't want any mid-season headlines about Aaron Rodgers beefing with the offensive coordinator that's younger than him. Because if that would happen, that's just a whole nother thing that we're not even trying to get into.
Yeah, but I'm still a little worried, just me personally, just in the sense of like I don't think there's gonna be a significant problem, but I
Yeah.
do just worry about a guy that's close to Rogers' age, that's never called plays before. and then Rodgers is going to be like, all right, cool. I'm going to trust whatever you say and just run your playbook. I feel like it's going to be a little bit of Rodgers like, I'll do my own thing. Because that's
Well,
how Rodgers has
yeah.
attacked. And granted, I've only seen a small sample size of Rodgers
Mhm.
for a whole season. Like I never really watched a whole Packer season, if we're being genuinely honest.
Right.
But like seeing him with the Jets, like first it was Hackett, and I refuse to believe that Rodgers was always taking Hackett's plays. I was like, all right, whatever. Like you could see that Rodgers was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he would do his own thing, but then that wouldn't work either. He did have some respect for Todd Downing. And sometimes there was Todd Downing's plays, and sometimes there was Rodgers' plays. I think whoever you do bring in right now, we can assume it's Tanner, but whoever you do bring in LC needs to know that you got to have like even just 20% of the offense where you just let Rodgers be Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I think if you
Got
do
to.
that, you'll
Got
kind of
to.
keep him happy
Yeah.
because it's like it's one of those things like if he doesn't have that outlet to just be like, all right, let me just go and just do me, he might be a little rebellious.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think. See, Rodgers isn't the horse you want. You want to tame. You know, you kind of want to, especially because again, he's if he does come back, which there's been reports that Aaron Glenn wants Aaron Rodgers to be back, and I'm all for it because as a first time head coach, why not have a Hall of Famer as your guy, to kind of lead you into this, but
especially with first time OC as well.
Yeah, first time OC, yeah. So I feel like the cards are kind of showing themselves, when it comes to what should happen, because if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, then guess what? Then we're all like, oh, well, this is gonna be a loss. Like now we're all like, well, I guess that's it for for next season. But Aaron Rodgers does come back, we have hope. We have we saw Aaron Rodgers playing towards the end of last season, and he was playing way better than he was starting off. So yeah, I feel like it would be a good thing to have him in the building for sure. And I guess to go off that point, we can talk about it. Aaron Rodgers as the starting the starting quarterback of the Jets. And granted, this is one season. All right. And the people underneath Rodgers in this graphic played multiple seasons. But the numbers are the numbers. All right. And
I think the great part is that Zach Wilson technically
you said the
more efficient touchdown offense
than
Sam.
Oh, then Sam. Yeah, no, that's actually wild. But we actually surrounded Zach Wilson with talent.
Yeah.
That was the only difference. Sam, we
had
gave Sam
Chosen.
Frank. Yeah, we gave Sam Jermaine Curse, and I don't know. No, actually, I don't think he had Jermaine. He had like maybe.
No, he did in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, like Robbie, Frank Gore.
Oh gosh,
come
on!
You
got Le'Veon Bell, but like Le'Veon Bell when Le'Veon Bell wasn't Le'Veon Bell anymore.
Yeah, he had one good game.
Worst offensive lines you could possibly put together. Like we had to literally start from scratch with that O line because there's not one person you can keep. Like how bad you have to like swing and miss on offensive linemen to go 0 for 5. Like that's crazy. 0 for 5. Like you're telling me out of how long was McCagnon GM? Like long enough to where it's like there's no way you're telling me when you leave you had not one offensive lineman that like you could at least just say you could keep him as a starter. He's not great, but he can just be a starter.
Right.
Like you have to try to be that bad.
Yeah. That's a little that's very bad. When you look back at that, it's like you didn't even try to help this guy, and you said you would try to help him. Yeah. You said you told the man's mother that he would be in good hands, and you did the exact opposite. That's terrible. That's terrible. But yeah, no, Sam Darnold, I don't know. He did what he could. All right. And you know what's crazy? Whenever I look at Sam and Zach side by side, I think about their 40 plus yard touchdown runs, like and which each of them had. I'm just like, wow, like like I mean, like you don't just you don't just have plays like that from guys that are averaging some of the worst touchdown rates in their tenure as a starting quarterback. Um, and it's just funny to me, like when I think about it, it's just like, wow, well, they were really like out there just doing whatever,
Yeah.
and yeah, I always think about that long touchdown run from Zach where he went off. Sam's run was on prime time. That was pretty cool, and it's like, but both of them are like in the bottom five of touchdown touchdown averages. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
whatever. That's whatever.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of like that's really what it comes down to. I think if you don't keep and it's like it's a weird situation you're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you keep Rodgers, you are throwing like you are kicking the money problem down the road. Even if you restructure,
Yeah.
you're kicking the
Yeah.
money problem down the road.
Yeah.
And then if you let him go, you're accelerating that money problem. And then there's no quarterback you can really replace him with this year. So it's like, what do you do at quarterback? Do you really go out there and play Tyrod? Like Tyrod has not, like, it's not even just talent. He has not ever finished a season, like ever.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen him go 17 games, let
Right.
alone like 12.
Yeah.
So
No. There's
there's a
no way.
concern there. There's definitely a concern there. Like if Rodgers does leave, like who, and also like how do you even sell that offensive coordinator position with no quarterback?
Right. It's not. It becomes less intriguing.
Yeah, like
I'll
what are you
say
gonna
that.
say? Oh, we're gonna bring back Sam Darnold. Like, no, you're not.
We're not
He's
bringing
not
back.
coming back.
Not bringing back Sam Darnold. Anybody who thinks we're going to bring back Sam Darnold, just let it go.
Yeah,
Just,
like
they're probably the
you're
same
sitting
people who
there.
thought that Rex was going to come back.
Yeah, like at that point, you're sitting there like you're either hoping you can trade for somebody, which is unlikely because of the money situation,
Mm-hmm.
or you're hoping you can like convince a guy like Justin Fields to come over. But even then, the ceiling is capped there. So, like, no matter what situation you do, you're kind of effed. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've been banging it, or I mean, yeah, a lot of fans have been banging the table. Just bring Aaron Rodgers back for his last year. 2 years removed from an Achilles injury. He should be better. Should be a little more mobile. We have our left tackle of the future. Build on the O line as best as you can. Our O line it's not terrible, but it can be better.
Offensive line's pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's decent. Like you have 4 starters right now. Like you have
Mhm.
Olu, AVT, John Simpson, and Joe Tipman.
Yeah.
If our new offensive line coach that just came in, if he can actually, coach, that's a lot of mold that you can turn it because John Simpson, he looked great last year. Joe
Yeah.
Tipman needs to work on his snapping, but like he had some moments where he looked really good. Especially I saw him pull a few times and it looked really great.
Yeah.
AVT was just coming off an injury, so I'm not really gonna judge him, but like coming off an injury, he didn't look bad. Like he looked, I'd say a little above average. And Olu at left tackle looked great to me. So like to
Yeah.
me, throwing a right tackle and some depth, you're good.
He's good. Yeah. We're good.
And then I granted, I don't know how you handle the draft, but maybe throwing another weapon. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what you get an offensive player somehow or some way. I don't know what you do. I would either do. Oh, I wouldn't say somehow, some way, because if Duke Carter is there at 7,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I'm taking it.
You're taking Abdul.
I'm taking Abdul. I don't
What's
care.
up, Warren?
F it. Like it's like yeah, whatever. Offense wins games. Defense wins championships.
Offensive games. Well, yeah, I'll take the games at least. I'll take some.
Yeah,
We need to win something at this point. But
we'll see.
But yeah, we'll
We got some time for that. Right now, we got to figure out offensive coordinator and quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and he didn't have 39 passing touchdowns. Warren, this is just the average, like passing and rushing touchdowns that the offense had with him at quarterback. just to clarify, it was. I mean, our offense was more efficient with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. It's been the most efficient we've seen in a long time, and I think Mark Sanchez, his average was like 33 or 32 at when he was a starting quarterback. So it's like like we need that, you know. We need that leadership. We need uh that presence on the field because I'll be damned if we go back to this 26.6, 26.3 because I'm good
Yeah.
off that. I'm good off that, bro. I'm
Yeah.
good, you know. Uh but yeah, bring my guy back. That's all I gotta say about that one right there. You know?
Yeah. The only thing, I think my only concern with it, and granted, it's because I don't know what's happening behind the scenes,
Mm,
is I don't know how Garrett feels about it. I
mm,
know there's been a
yeah,
lot of talk about like,
yeah,
oh, like what's going on between him and Garrett. I genuinely don't know, but I will say there were some times where, like at the end of the season, where Garrett just seemed fed up. Granted, it's hard to tell because the team was ass. So it's like when you're not winning games, it's already frustrating. It doesn't necessarily
yeah,
have to be Rodgers. The game's already frustrating because it's like you suck, and well, it's not you suck, but the team is sucking right now. No one even wants to play, so everyone's down.
yeah,
But I would hope that Glenn kind of gets to the bottom of that as he's deciding, because if there is some real like something going on there, they need to nip that in the butt before they figure all that stuff out.
yeah. Definitely did that in the bud. But what was encouraging was hearing our GM say that, or just hearing our GM acknowledge the talent that we already have on the team, and that he is one of his goals to keep the talent that we have here.
Yep.
So I hope he follows through with that notion because that's big on my list. That was big on my list as a GM candidate. I wanted somebody who recognized the talent that we already had in the building and to make efforts to try and retain that talent because this is the most talented team I feel like we've had as far as just
Raw talent.
yeah, raw talent, like cornerstone guys at each position. Like this is like we have to capitalize on what we have here right now.
Yeah.
So uh that's that's my big thing. Garrett should be the first one to be to like get that bag. Then I think it should be Sauce. I mean, 2 Pro Bowls in his first 3 seasons,
All pro.
all pro. He's on that, Aaron Glenn, Darrell Revis, Sauce gone. Like he's one of those guys, so he's one that has to stay. Uh and then, Jamie and Sherwood,
Ooh,
uh
nice. Yeah.
yeah, I would love to keep him as well. I'm not sure who Aaron Glenn is going to try to bring over from the Lions defense to the Jets. I would assume that he's going to try to lure some players. I'm not sure
Yeah.
which ones.
Yeah, I heard
Maybe
there's a report about and I posted it, but there's a report on Derek Barnes
yeah.
potentially coming over. And Glenn's very fond of him. They drafted him, I believe, in 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm. It's a
But he's
linebacker.
had some injury. Yeah, he's had
Yeah.
some injuries in his career though.
Okay.
Most recently he was injured last year, but before he was injured, I mean, I can only see. I'm not gonna say I watched the dude, but his
Yeah.
PFF grade is high, if that means anything. But I know Glenn's fond of him, so there's a chance that he brings him over. I still bring back Sherwood as well. Bring back both.
Yeah.
See what how like because I don't think you have Mosley anymore, anyways.
Yeah. That
Even though you have him
and
under
that kind of
contract.
stuff. Yeah, and like that kind of says. I feel like we're gonna have to make a few cuts that we don't really um want to make. I mean, honestly, which to include Mosley, to include DJ Reed, I feel like those are like the biggest ones that I feel like are gonna hurt.
Yeah.
In the turning over the new leaf process, but it just might be necessary.
Yeah, well, like I think what worries me is that like if you lose Reed and Eccles, because Eccles is also a free agent.
He's a free agent.
So Like I do worry about who's the cornerback opposite of Sauce in that case.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people throwing up Carlton Davis because he was the Lions last year.
Mm-hmm.
He also did get hurt. So, and granted, like I think with a lot of older guys, you do worry about them being able to get through a whole season.
Yeah.
Especially like if we're gonna be getting someone that just came off a season where he was hurt. I don't know, but I worry in general. But we do also have some young guys. JPC, Jarek Bernard
Yeah.
Converse,
Yeah.
Quantez Stiggers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everyone talks about Glenn's ability to develop. We all know he's developed some really great safeties.
Mm-hmm.
He's developed a lot of great linebackers. So I would be curious to see like if he comes in, he's able to get like one of them up to speed and start two. But
Mm-hmm.
that one's definitely the more riskier option.
Yeah. 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 And we'll see like which Lions players can even be lured away from a good situation in Detroit. But if they mess with AG, they know that much. We can have some Lions players on our defense, and yeah, I feel like our secondary, AG and Eccles doesn't really have any ties. It'll just have to be
Yeah.
somebody vouching for Eccles for AG to be like, okay, yeah, I guess we'll keep him. But
Yeah, but AG, like we always said, he started off his career as a scout. So I'm sure
mm,
he's gonna sit down, just watch the tape of all the guys that are here.
yeah, yeah,
Especially like our own free agents, because those are the easiest to sign.
hmm
Typically those are the easiest to sign, let me say. So if you have a guy like Eccles that like reaches out to Glenn and say, hey, yeah, I want to be here. I'm sure
hmm
Glenn's gonna sit down, watch the tape, see like, is this a guy I want here? All right, cool. Now you make a decision.
yeah,
So I think he's gonna take it more in a situation like him and Moogie. I think they're gonna take those in a situation like that rather than just be like, oh, I'm bringing in my guys. I
yeah,
think Glenn's whole philosophy is just, we gotta have the right players in the right spots.
yeah, exactly. And look, I'm not opposed to drafting Will Johnson either. He seems like he's gonna be a stud out of Michigan. I can't wait till we get into the draft content because I feel like that's when we we get a little excited as far as like the young prospects and that's upcoming in the draft. I feel like I never get totally acclimated with draft with like the upcoming draft class until like a month and a half before the draft. But this year,
Someone's that can change.
yeah. This year, it's some people that are on my radar, but when we start doing like the mock drafts on Instagram and all those the mock draft simulators start to become a little more up to date, that's when it gets fun.
Yeah.
When it gets fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do
But
have some guys like for me, I've been going back. I'm trying to see what we do with this Rodgers situation and what we do with the quarterback situation before I really talk about like draft and stuff like that. Because it's like I would say like, yeah, I would throw a shot at a quarterback this year.
Mhm.
I'm a really big fan of Dylan Gabriel, especially.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I am. He's on the shorter end, but like I watched him play. I watched a lot of clips of him playing. High IQ. From what I can see of him reading the defense, it seems like he's able to process very quickly and get to his read relatively quick. Like he just seems like he plays like it's the comp I have in my head. And I hate saying it, but like a Russell Wilson. Like when Russell
Oh
Wilson was
yeah.
younger, like that
Yeah.
whole like he's scanning, and next he's scrambling a little bit. Bam, got him. So I like the dude. I'm not gonna lie. And then also I'm not like I kind of already ruled out Cam Ward. I don't like Shador, but I ruled those guys out anyways. Jalen Milroe is a possibility. I
Yeah.
don't think we'll be in position to take him though. I have a
Yeah.
feeling he's gonna go late first. Like I think if anything, the Giants would take him before they got to our pick in the second. And
If,
honestly,
if the Giants take him, that'll be kind of funny. But okay.
yeah, I don't know who would take him. I got like it's so much to happen in the NFL. Like what happens with Kirk Cousins? Like where does he go? There's a lot of rumors on Matthew Stafford. Where does he go? Who the heck would the Rams replace him with?
Yeah.
a lot of teams, a lot of fans, let me say, is infatuated with Joe Milton. The Pats will never trade him to us, but like, where would they trade him to if they were to trade him?
Right. Right.
Because they already have Drake May. They don't really need Joe Milton. That was kind of just like a shot in the dark, and he
Mm-hmm.
put up some good tape.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold still needs to find a home.
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff that just needs to happen before we can see like what is an actual quarterback that we can see be a possibility in the draft or just anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, if we do like a quarterback, I wouldn't mind taking one like in the later rounds, and then having
Like Rodgers
yeah,
here.
yeah, like with Rogers here and having him and Jordan Travis kind of like duke it out whenever it's their time. But you know, I'll always say I'm on the Archie Manning train. I don't. I mean, I know that whenever he declares, he's probably going to be the consensus number one pick for
Yeah.
whatever team that is going to be in need of a quarterback that year. But we might be that team no matter how good we do the year prior. We might have a good year and still be a QB needy team the next year. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm at this point I'm ready to put all my eggs in one basket and just I don't care if we're sitting at 15 or something next year. I don't care.
Are you going to put the picks out there?
Yeah. Just
But see, this is the thing,
let's
right?
go up. Let's go up.
And this is the thing I always say, right?
And
It's
Archie
like
probably has 2 more years too.
hold
He
on,
probably
wait,
he's
hold
probably for 2
on,
more.
hold on, because like you gotta understand, right? Archie Manning is on the track of like the Trevor Lawrence type of hype, right?
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't give the Jaguars anything to make them trade out of that pick. Like you could give them the 3 first and you can give them 3 seconds. They probably would have still told you no.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad that hype was. And I could only imagine Archie Manning's like if he just does decent, he doesn't even have to be great. He just does decent. The hype is going to be like astronomical.
Mm.
So
So
I
so
think if you're
so
not number one, forget about it.
so what you're telling me is we're just gonna have to hope that Archie has a down year before he declares.
We just gotta hope that whatever year Archie declares, we're number one. If we want Archie. I think it's
Right. That's
either
really it.
we
That's
have to be
really it.
number one, or there's a team that genuinely doesn't need a quarterback. And they're just gonna take
Yeah.
the best offer. But even then, I don't know if you really want to give them that offer because I have a feeling it's gonna be something so stupid. Like a good example is that Panthers trade. Like
Mm.
Bryce Young is not
Yeah.
a bad quarterback. Like, he's coming around, but that was a terrible trade. I don't know why they
Terrible.
thought that was a good idea. I don't
Bad
know
trade.
why they thought that was a good idea. Like, I would never trade. Like, if someone was like, yeah, I'll give you Archie, but you got to give us Garrett and 3 first. I'm not doing that shit. That's so stupid to me. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not even like when people talk about trading Garrett for a first, like, oh, Garrett for 1 first round. I'm like, Garrett was a first, like he was a top 10 pick. Like, why would I just take a random first for a top 10 pick that's been performing like a top 10 pick? That doesn't make any sense. You guys won't even give me the top 10 pick back? Come on.
Yeah, no. Garrett is not going anywhere. If it was up to me, but
Yeah.
I feel like the staff we have is going to appreciate G5 and we'll
See, the thing
see.
is,
We'll see.
with new staffs though, you never know because you could dangle something very nice in front of them. Like, it's like the same thing when JD came here and then they dangled the 2 first-round draft picks in front of his face for Jamal Adams. Granted, that shit worked out, but
That shit
when
worked
you
out
dangle,
perfect.
yeah.
But
Like,
let's see.
you know what it
Garrett
is when
Wilson isn't.
you don't have a quarterback, it changes everything.
Yeah.
Like even with Rodgers, you don't have a long time quarterback. So and granted, like a first won't do it, but if someone dangles 2 first round draft picks, you start listening. You throw in 2 first draft picks, and then you got like a decent wide receiver in there. You're like, man, like now I'm considering like, cause like yeah, those first round draft picks aren't guaranteed, but those are like team changing. Like when you have like 4 first rounders in 2 years, if you can draft, that can be like a complete makeover. That's how the lines turned over. That's how
Mhm.
we got all the guys that we got.
Yeah,
Like
literally.
it could really change a team.
Yeah, no, it definitely can. I don't know. I don't know. If anything, like you were saying months, weeks ago, if anybody's on the chopping block, it will be Brees.
Yeah,
It will be
sadly.
Brees. And like I hate to say
But I
it. I
don't
hate
think
to
his trade value would be
say it.
high.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
what up, Johnny?
yeah, like you got to think about it. If you're a team, granted, outside of Saquon Barkley, because Saquon Barkley played out of his freaking mind. But outside of Saquon Barkley, like how much are you trading for a running back in today's game? Especially Brees hasn't really been like has Brees even broke 1,000 yards yet? No, he
Nah,
hasn't.
I think he
He
was
hasn't.
4 yards short that one year. So
Yeah, he was six
not
yards
not
short
not
last
really
year,
his fault.
2023. He had
Not really his fault.
876 yards this past year. So,
Yeah,
and honestly, he's regressed every year.
he has, and not because, and yeah, I wouldn't say he's regressed because of him personally. I'll say that it's more so on the situation. You know, situation is why he's regressed. But hey, it's it's tough when you look at Brees and you're like, you could be so much better, bro. But it's like
Yeah,
he never had more than 20 rushing attempts in any game.
I'm not giving him that. I'm not giving him that because he averaged and when I say regressed, his rookie year, right? This is obviously before the injury.
Pretty
He was
good.
averaging 5.8 yards per carry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. He been ready to give up everything.
I ain't trying to do all that. I ain't trying to do all
I'm
that.
not gonna lie, that's crazy. I'm not
I
gonna
ain't
lie.
trying to
So
do all that.
someone said that's what it would take for Arch. I'm like, man, somebody got to be decent. That's not Arch.
I'm like,
Shit, I
man,
can't
you
do
better.
that. Yeah,
Man, you better. You don't know. You better
shit.
give me,
That's not
give
just
me.
court. Like,
You better give
you
me
got to be
prime.
so good, bro.
Yeah,
I need you to,
I
bro. If
need.
you're not getting us to the playoffs by yourself, like Andrew Luck did in his rookie year, shit, I don't want to hear it.
Give me Megatron if that's gonna bring him
Right?
back.
Shit.
Somebody.
But what I was saying is, you got to think. So, and honestly, like I think we as fans sometimes forget how good Brees was that rookie year. Like he was averaging 5.8 yards per carry. He had 4 touchdowns, and like how many games did he play? Like 6 or something like that.
Yeah,
He had like 400. He had 463 yards in like such a short period. Like he was on fire.
the dog.
And
Yeah.
mind you, we didn't have a good offensive line. Our offensive line was still dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously had the injury, came back. He was decent last year. He had 994 yards, 5 touchdowns. Like I would call it good, not great.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year, I think everyone had high expectations because he was 2 years removed from the injury. And
Yeah.
then he had 876 yards. Like it's not a bad year, but like when you're talking about like stars, like that's part of the reasons where it's like in our offensive line, it's probably like, and granted, I will say JD did fail, and because this is like, and that's what I was telling you. Remember, I said I was like, they need to build the offensive line to be a run first offensive line. I
Yeah.
said that. I said that many,
Yeah.
many times on this show.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those things where it is what it is. We went past. I get it. We went with a pass first offense. We went with a pass first offensive line. But then we had an aging quarterback, and coming off a Achilles injury, like it didn't work out. And then
Yeah.
I will say the offensive line wasn't the best at run blocking, but
They weren't the best. And
it,
to Johnny's point, we do have two running backs that are pretty good. I feel like Allen, I know Johnny's been a big advocate on these two guys, but I know, Allen with a little more carries, he could be a bell cow, like he could be that guy. But Brees is just I feel like he's like a mix of both of those, you
yeah.
know.
But the thing is, it's like when you're not getting when you're not a guy like the Saquons and
Yeah.
like Jameer Gibbs, like you're kind of replaceable. Like I hate to
Yeah.
say that, like for the most part, like 876 yards, that's replaceable. I hate to
How many receiving yards though?
he did have a solid receiving. Like we'll look it up. it's not enough for me to sit there and be like, oh,
Yeah.
he's elite.
Yeah.
Give me one. So you can keep talking. I'll bring it up.
No, yeah. He like Brees is one of those guys. It's like if the team isn't playing well, he's not like you said a Saquon and Derrick Henry, Jameer Gibbs, where you can just give him the ball and he can take over the game. Like
Yeah.
and maybe that has to do with the scheme. Maybe it has to do with the run block efficiency. Maybe that has to do with having Aaron Rodgers at quarterback throwing 50 times a game. Like
Nah. Because like even receiving 483 yards, 3 touchdowns. But don't forget, like he dropped a lot this year. Like there's a lot of times where it's like he was a check down, Rodgers came back to him, threw it to him, and he was open space, dropped the ball. And I was like, come on, bro. Like you can't be like especially like when you are like, and it's sad because I think it's just because we had such high expectations after the rookie year where it's like we put him like up there. Like people were drafting him like I drafted him number 1 overall in fantasy. So like
me
expectations
too.
are high.
Fool
Expectations are
me.
very, very high. And just it's good for like a David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Like given this situation, like if David Montgomery obviously didn't have the Lions offensive line.
Saquon has a great offensive line too.
He does now, but Saquon was doing this before he had the great offensive line.
You're right.
He was
Absolutely
doing
right.
this shit with the Giants, and the Giants have a booty offensive line.
Absolutely.
That's why I say it's different. That's why I say it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I like I get it. Like, I do very much believe that a lot of times, like if you want a great running game, it starts with the offensive line. Like offensive line, you could have in my opinion, you could throw almost any running back behind an elite offensive line, and you're gonna have a decent running game.
Oh yeah.
Sure. I think I would put more stock in the offensive line than sit there and expect Brees to become elite or even probably get another running back in general. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see about that. I do hope that this time around we get a solid like run blocking tackle. I think ABT will also bounce back a little bit. So like if we could have a guy that could just run behind the right side of the offensive line and get a lot of yards, that'd be great. Because Olu wasn't great in run blocking, especially. I will say that. He's not bad, but he's not like Mauler, where he's just gonna run people over or anything. But really great pass blocking.
Very, very great. And this is a good point that Johnny put out there. As Jet fans, when we finally do have something good, we don't know how to act. And I agree. When we have something good and the thing that's good isn't exceeding our expectations, we start just using it as a punching bag. And it's like, come on. It's like we know what we have. Like once we realize what we have, in the famous words of J. Cole, love yours. You feel me? Once we do that, hopefully they'll, show us something on the field as well as or as far as wins. But like, yeah, man, like Jet fans, love yours. We have cornerstones at running back, receiver, corner, D line. Like it's there, and yeah, that's why I was so confused with the Sauce hate.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I was so confused with the Sauce hate mid-season. I'm like, y'all were just, like it's no way y'all are so quick to turn on your own like this. It's no way.
Yeah. The only thing I will say though, and I hate to keep bringing it back, but Brees's contract ends next year, like after this next season. So they do need to make a decision. Like, are you ready to pay him by that point? And I guess worst case, franchise tag him if he does have that Saquon year. I think that's the question that Darren and Aaron Glenn has to start thinking about now.
And for me, it's like if Brees doesn't, okay, so this would be a contract year for Brees. So he has to go crazy, right? Like he has to, and if he does, Is he going to be asking for the bag? You know, we could dial back and say, hey, this is your first year you really went crazy like this. Relax, right?
Yeah,
Or is it going to be a thing where it's like, you know, okay, you went crazy. You just sold yourself to the rest of the league. Test the market.
but see, that's the issue that I have, right? It's like it's going through this whole year. You take that chance, and like let's just say he puts up just 1,000 yards flat. Like he basically has a 2023, like good, not great. Like it's just like another one of those. Like you can't franchise tag him because it's like it's not at that level where you would franchise tag him. But like you'd want to have him, you still want him there. Like it's one of those like you wish you would have just traded him and got the value while you could.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one where man, I don't know. Granted, I don't even know what a team would even offer for him, but I'm not gonna lie. If someone did throw around a second round pick, knowing that he only has 1 year on his contract, I might, just because I do have a feeling like Brees is one of those people that I don't want to say people, but he's one of those players that like he wants to win. And I think if it didn't happen this year, he might be gone regardless.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, he's been a big advocate on bringing Aaron Rodgers back. So maybe he doesn't want to see Aaron Rodgers go out like that, or maybe he would just wants to be with Aaron Rodgers for his last year, and then he'll do what he wants to do after that.
Yeah, I think he
But
looks at it as like, look, I don't got a better option. I think at this point, whoever comes in knows
right.
that like it's better off to just have us ground and pound. And honestly, I think that should have been the offensive scheme to begin with. Ground and pound, and then have Rodgers throw like limit the amount. Like I think that's really where the issue was with Rodgers. We're having him throw like 40, 50 times a game. I'm like, yo, he's not 20. Why are we having him throw 40 plus times a game? Like,
yeah,
I thought that was like I don't know who thought of that game. Like it was from Hackett and then it was from Down. And like both of them just did the same thing. Just throw. I don't know. You got 3 solid running back. Like what was the point of drafting 2 running backs in the draft along with having Brees and not using any of them?
yeah.
That didn't make any sense to me.
And Rodgers, clearly we saw this year, he can throw the ball 50 times. We know he can do it. But he doesn't have to. We don't like he doesn't. We shouldn't. That shouldn't be our game plan, right? Like you said, it should be. We should go back to the ground and pound. And I'm hoping that with Aaron Glenn here coming from Montgomery and Gibbs, bringing on another offensive guy from Detroit, that they're going to understand that too and make that our offense, going forward. I think even when Glenn was a Jet, that was a ground and pound team, I feel like. And, he talked about the game they lost in the playoffs against the Broncos. Like those Jet teams were running teams. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny, but I feel like those older Jet teams were running teams. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so I'm hoping that that is what our new identity forms out to be, because that's what we need. We need, like, because I feel like this year our coaches were trying to prove a point that Rodgers is the guy. He's the guy. Like he can throw 40 plus times, 50 plus times, and we can still win games. But that shouldn't be the formula. Like we had the formula kind of backwards this year, and that's why Woody pulled the plug early, because he was, I mean, yeah, he was just fed up because the formula was not working.
Yeah, and that's why I'm a very big advocate on offensive line in general. Like if there's anything I think we should spend a lot of money in or spend a high asset like the number 7. Great, I don't know who I would take if there was like we were gonna go offensive line right now, but I do think that's probably the direction I would go, assuming there was a guy I felt could step in right away, and like kind of like how Penei Sewell with the Lions kind of came in, and to me that was the changing point of that whole team when they got Sewell, because that's when their offensive line was like okay to like, oh shit, like yo, they're like, it is very, very hard to do anything on defense against them when they can run the ball like that. And that's really, to me, why Goff turned his career around, because, like, most of their game plan is just run the ball a lot and then have Goff just do whatever he wants in the pocket for a long ass time.
Right. That's just literally, they were running trick plays where he faked fumble the ball. Like,
yeah, like you can't do that when you have an offensive line where it's like you don't know what might happen. Like, you got to really trust your offensive line to run a play like that. So I hope that that's where this organization really just focuses and does a better job than Joe Douglas did in general. Get a right tackle, get some solid depth, and let's get this shit rolling, man. Because I generally do think, you get a good run blocking right tackle, it can be this can be a team. This can like, especially like, you get a good rotation of like Brees. Now you got Braylon in his second year, Isaiah Davis in his second year. Like, I don't know. I'd be excited for it. Like, I would really like to see, just especially because it also opens the door for a lot more like trick plays and stuff. Like, put Garrett in the backfield from time to time. We don't have another receiver, so I'm not going to say anyone else. Like, I don't want to see Lazard in the backfield. And I don't know.
It was some reports that we're trying to the Jets are favorites for trading for Olave. You saw that?
That's not going to happen.
I know that was weird, but
that's not going to happen. I'd be like, not. I wouldn't say nah, but like, I just don't see why the Saints would even do that.
Yeah, that would be super
dope. Be very incompetent. Like that. Like,
they can have Lazard.
Cool. If they, I think their fan base would probably tear down that stadium before that shit happened.
That would be crazy. I need somebody, but I do need something here to like keep Garrett like locked in, because like we saw all the players, publicly, tweet and announce, their praises for AG. I ain't seen Garrett tweet or nothing.
If they just listen to me, we wouldn't have this problem. I said, build a run first offense. And then what they do, they took, hold on. I don't want to sit here because everyone, I know I said it one time on Instagram and I got a lot of hate. Like, there's a lot of people threatening me because I was like, I'm not going to sit here and say, it was a bad pick or the wrong pick. It was a great pick. It was a very much of like we're going to expect Rodgers to come back and be that guy again. So that's why we need Olu to go, pass block for him. I'm like, you're not gonna, like, to me, I was like, you shouldn't even have Rodgers really dropping back. And granted, the good thing is that like with a fresh arm, I think Rodgers can make all those plays. And you do want guys that can block in those critical moments.
Yeah.
But like Rodgers also throws the ball pretty quickly. I would have went with a run first. I keep saying I would have gotten the I don't even remember his name anymore, but the guy the Saints got and then they put him at left tackle. Man. And
Fuaga.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, and it pisses me off even more because you would have done that, and then you could have gotten one of the guys at 7 to fill in left tackle. Man. Because I'm like, everyone wants to be a left tackle. So I'm like, you get a really elite right tackle. Whew.
You're really set. You're really set at that point.
Yeah. Now you guys sit here and wonder, like, what are you gonna do at right tackle? Like, you can't really take a right tackle in the first. Like, you can. It's just like you never know. Like, all the top offensive tackles are all left tackles.
Yeah.
And they've always played a left tackle, so it's like you don't know how they're gonna do a right tackle.
Yeah, and to Johnny's point right here, I'm with whatever makes Garrett happy at this point, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I don't care about what makes Aaron Rodgers happy. I don't care about what makes anybody else happy. Garrett Wilson, I feel like is my priority right now. That's why a lot of people, I feel like, were even considering Justin Fields, including me, as a quarterback option because he knows Garrett. That'll make Garrett happy. You bring Olave in, that's Garrett's boy.
All right, now I'm not gonna lie, that would be fun though. Like if somehow you pulled in Justin Fields and then brought in Olave, that would be very interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
Garrett would be smiling from ear to ear.
But not just that, it's just like, imagine, like, mind you, obviously we still have to figure out the offensive line. But I keep saying Justin Fields and Brees in the backfield, and then like you still got Garrett who they have a connection. And if you threw in Olave somehow, I'm like shit. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be pretty insane.
Yeah, that would be. We are literally the Jet Buckeyes.
Yeah,
That would be pretty dope. But that's for your
Elon
man.
Musk.
Yeah, that's for your man ultimate team.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that's the only way that's gonna happen probably. But I mean, hey, I want to be opposed to it. Um, yeah. So but I guess we do have I guess a lot to talk about going forward. Next phases of this coaching cycle. We're gonna be signing our OC soon and our other positional groups. Um, the draft is around the corner.
yeah.
So it's the off season for Jet fans is the best season for us. Which is sad but true. All right. So
Gives us
uh,
hope.
yeah, it gives us
And
hope.
next year will be different.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that our you know current head coach is firing us up in the middle of the press opening press conferences and whatnot.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
just giving us everything we need to be let down. But I have a different feeling. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say this is all going to be what we didn't expect, that we needed. And, so yeah, I'm ready for it. Before we get off today, Super Bowl predictions. Who you got? We got a rematch. Who you got?
You know what? Like, Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want either one of them to win. I generally don't. You know what it is? I want Saquon to win.
Yes.
That's it. That
Yeah.
is it. I want Saquon to win. I don't
Mhm.
want Philly fans to win. They are
That's
ridiculous.
that's
I don't
that's
want
the
Philly to
thing.
win.
That's the thing.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with the team winning. I'm not okay with the fans winning. Like, I wish somehow the Eagles could win, but the fans lose, in my opinion. Like, the city of Philadelphia, and
That's a
mind you,
tough part.
I won't go to Philadelphia for at least a year now. But the city of Philadelphia is out of control.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
I'm like, yo, they're going out of control. I'm like, y'all won. How can y'all lose?
Yeah. Nah.
Oh my
Philly
gosh.
Philly fans are insane. They are
Yeah.
insane.
That's just like they
Um.
call us bad or
Yeah.
they call us crazy. Philly's out of control.
People can't call Jet fans crazy. We are loyal. We are like I want to say like very like ugly loyal. Like
Yeah.
it's just like it's sad at this point how
I
loyal
think
we
people more
are.
so call us annoying just because it's like we always have like this really optimistic hope in the off season where it's just like you guys always do this and then suck. And I'm like, yeah, but like it's not like we really know.
Yeah, it's not like what
Nobody
else,
knows, but
how
we
else are we
always
supposed to act? All right,
yeah,
how
like they get mad at us for hyping our team up so much in the off season just
I
for us
don't
to not be great. And I'm like,
I
hey
don't I
man,
don't understand. I don't understand. How can you get mad at Jets fans for having hope? That is the most
that's really what it
dumbest
is.
that's the most dumbest take, or dumbest reason to hate a fan base. Y'all have too much hope. I hate like y'all so annoying. Like what? What you mean? What else are we gonna have? But
Yeah.
it's whatever. My prediction for the Super Bowl is Saquon's birthday on Sunday. He turns 28.
Yeah.
On Super Bowl day. It's his birthday. Um, but Mahomes and them going three-peat.
Oof. That's terrible. Losing on your birthday.
He's gonna lose on his birthday.
Oh, that's sad.
And Chiefs are gonna three-peat, and Travis Kelce is gonna retire, and he's going to propose to Taylor
Yeah, I was
Swift.
gonna say everyone keeps saying
He's gonna
he's
propose.
I'm
He's
not
gonna
gonna lie.
propose to Taylor Swift, bro. That's
I'm not
what's
gonna
gonna
lie.
happen.
That is the one thing. If NFL, if you let him do that, I just might not watch a Chiefs game next year. I don't care. I don't care if they make it to the playoffs. I don't care if they make it to the Super Bowl.
Look, man.
I might just boycott.
Look, man. Look, man. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna propose, and then he's gonna retire. He even if he doesn't propose at the Super Bowl, he'll propose at the little parade for the for when they win in KC, right? They're gonna trade for Mark Andrews.
Oh my gosh.
They're gonna trade for Mark Andrews, and they're gonna be
Stop
a good team, and they're gonna be a good team again.
Stop it.
And
Stop.
that's just what it's gonna be.
Actually, no, because the Ravens would never do that.
Well, the Ravens might just. I don't
No,
know.
they're not doing that.
I don't know if they'll release him.
I can't
You know-
imagine the Ravens trade. Even if they thought Mark Andrews was bad, they
Well,
would
you're right, you're
trade
right.
him to the Chiefs
You're
just
right,
because,
you're right.
like, I can't imagine them wanting to, because, like, especially when you know you're like a couple plays away from having to play them in a championship, and they already got the refs on their side, they wouldn't do it. And
Yeah.
knowing Andy Reid, next thing you know, Mark Andrews is the next Travis Kelce. He's like, oh my gosh, he got like 2,000 yards next year. And you're like,
I
yo,
know. They better not release him, Andrews, if they can't find
they
a
better
suitor.
not release him though.
That's
Yeah.
all. That's all I got to say because he's gonna.
I'll take one for the
He's gonna
team.
go right.
Bro.
Yeah,
I'll
he's gonna
trade for him myself.
He's gonna. Oh yeah, that would be. I mean, I've heard some people say Mark Andrews, could be with the Jets, but I don't want that bad juju over here.
Nah, it's too deep of a tight end class.
Yeah, maybe tripping.
It's too deep.
But yeah, no, I got the Chiefs winning. I got Mahomes and them boys three-peating. First time ever. It's gonna be some historic stuff, and then
The only thing I will say though, whoever wins, they better get in the locker room. Just be like, they not like us. They not like us.
They got. I mean, that's what you're playing at halftime.
I'm not gonna lie. This past year, I've been a Drake hater. I've been a huge Drake hater.
Yeah, that's everybody.
I hope he goes down. I hope the whole halftime performance is certified lover boy, certified pedophile.
That's but no,
over and over and over again.
And it's crazy that song is gonna be so hype when he performs it. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. And my girl SZA gonna be joining him up there too. So yeah, it should be a cool show. I'm ready for it. But yeah, I got Chiefs winning. I guess you got the Eagles or Saquon winning. You got Saquon winning.
I hope.
Yeah, we'll see. Kendrick Adams,
Johnny.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I like anything Kendrick puts out, and I feel like the last album.
I liked it.
Yeah, I feel like the last album was pretty dope. Man, I don't know. The last album was pretty dope. But yeah, y'all check in with us next week. The Super Bowl is in 2 weeks, right?
About a week now.
About
Sunday, next Sunday.
Yeah, about a week. So yeah, about a week and a half. We'll be here next week. Just talking more Jets football for y'all. Dropping more news. Hopefully we got our OC signed by then. Yeah, hopefully we got our OC signed by then, and and we can look at our whole regime and be like, okay, this is where we head, So appreciate y'all. See y'all next week. And for the record, I got Chiefs. Allen got Eagles. All right.
Up into the air, into the end zone. Oh, man. Wow.